At birthdays, wishes fly around a lot.
Happy birthday!
From wishes for longer life, prayers of prosperity, and much more. However, the beauty of life is not necessarily the length of days in our lives, but the quality of life in our days. Now, this is not in any way to discourage a great, long life, but the focus should be on improving the quality of life that we have the opportunity to enjoy each day. If we are exposed and handed over 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, or 86,400 seconds every day without a break for 70 or 80 years, then we must be diligent enough to inquire what this whole stretch of time is to be used for and how best to optimize the daily time currencies that we are handed. At the end of the day, life would be lived with or without our direct intervention. It doesn't require rocket science to wake up in the morning and retire to sleep at night. However, for purposeful living, there are a number of things that can help to create a heightened expectation from this mystery that is referred to as life. 1. The understanding of life beyond a body. In what some scientists refer to as a life force, or Christians may refer to as the spirit, there is an understanding that man is beyond his body. He really is an essence that is given a body to live in. This can be compared to electricity, that powerful energy that flows through a wire. You would be wrong to call the wire electricity, even though it shares a very intimate relationship with electricity itself. This understanding has helped to answer the question as to why some people heal faster, do well in life, and generally never allow their failures, deficiencies, or inabilities to limit them. Somehow they have been able to understand that the pain is really external to their real essence and only affects their bodily suit. A syringe full of drugs may trigger a process, but this understanding makes you realize that medicine or any other help may, in reality, only be helping to get the life force and the mood to do what it was always created to do: heal, strengthen, relieve from pain, and much more. This understanding that the life force within you pretty much obeys the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can only be transformed from one state to another, implies that the life force or spirit that resides in the human body doesn't grow old, weak, or diminish in essence or ability. This means that age is truly a number and not an indication of how successful or meaningful our lives should be. Is this also the reason why the body can experience recovery? Because although the house of the human was hurt, the real essence remained powerful enough to deploy the relevant resources required to tackle the pain or inconvenience. A 70-year-old and a 20-year-old may appear different, but in truth, this life force remains the same. This has been scientifically proven by scientists like Dr. Hans Selye of the University of Montreal, as revealed in his many books and journals. In his studies, he talks about the adaptive energy which he believes is inherent in all men, from the cradle to the grave. This energy is responsible for the ability of humanity to cope with the various kinds of stress that he is exposed to throughout his life. He also believes that the energy from food is important, but cannot be said to be totally responsible for the ability of the human body to do all that it does in the course of living. Elihu, in his speech to the biblical Job, said, "There is a spirit in man." 2. The search for the mystical elixir of youth. With the rapid advancement in knowledge, science, and technology, there is no shortage in the availability of new drugs, supplements, and medical procedures. Celebrities, with their unending quest to look young, have popularized the adoption of some of these known enhancement drugs or treatments. All of these are not necessarily evil, to say the least, as the world would be a better place if better health options arise. However, really interesting researches that bother on the psychological aspects of men reveal the wonders of longevity that can result just by considering the telomere. This structure is found at the end of all healthy chromosomes, and they act as the timekeepers of all stem cells. The interesting discovery about this unique structure is that their lengths have very significant impacts on the longevity of people. As people advance in age, the telomere has been known to decrease, giving rise to conditions associated with old age. However, this is where it gets interesting. It was discovered that people who grew up in difficult situations that were probably poor or experienced abusive conditions aged quickly. This is because their telomere becomes shorter as a result of the environment. The opposite is true for wealthy people who can afford to live with minimal or non-existent financial pressure. Their telomeres were known to be longer. Little wonder the rich do not seem to be easily cut off from life. Again, it was discovered that people who paid attention to relevant information and education had better life outcomes and almost lived longer than those who did not. If there is anything to learn from all this, it is that the quality of our lives and the atmosphere that we live under have the ability to improve the quality of life we live and how well we optimize life. 3. Understanding how the failure mechanisms injure you. In some of our videos here on this channel, we showed you how the failure mechanism is acquired and how it ultimately affects the outcome of our lives. If you want to know how this works, you can check out some of the videos on this channel. A doctor discovered that there was a great difference in the healing process of the many patients that he treated. He found out that those who seemed to recover quickly were those who practically believed that they would be cured. They were also those who needed to be healed because they had a goal to achieve or something they considered important enough to get back to. This implies that the ones who never healed quickly were not enthusiastic about life. They were probably resentful or hurting, and so they didn't think of healing as an urgent requirement. 4. Stop thinking yourself into old age. For a number of people, they peg their productivity along the lines of their biological clocks. You have probably heard people say things like, "I can't do that anymore, I'm too old for it." Or, "When I was much younger, I could do this or that." Well, who or what defines age exactly? For your information, the world has at least 3 different calendars. Muslims have a calendar that is still in the 15th century. How could you possibly conclude that the best part of your days are over because of an inconsistent numbering system known as the calendar? Studies that agreed that the best time to learn a thing is from 17 to 30 years old are now being overturned by more research that reveals that at 70 years of age, the mind still has the capacity to take in and execute new ideas. People have refused to care for their bodies through exercising because of the fear of doing so at their age. Unfortunately, their lack of physical or mental activities has resulted in blocked capillaries and retardation of their knowledge. This has of course resulted in a weaker input to life from them. Age must never be the reason why you never set your heart to accomplish your mission. Great masters of the science and art field practiced their skills and continued to give to the world even as 70 and 80-year-olds. Refuse to retire from life also. If you get laid off or retired from a job, what simply happened was your retirement from a job and not life itself. You must learn early enough never to see your job or status as the true estimation of yourself. You are bigger than a 9-to-5 job or some startup company. You are one who the Creator imprinted with His DNA, carrying His image and likeness. You are never too old to achieve your goals, if you do not accept the horrifying lies of ageism in our world today. Life is beautiful and must be lived to the optimum so that you do not ask questions of pain and regrets in the future. If you enjoyed this video and want to know how to live a life without asking the what-if questions of regret, then be sure to stay around for our next video. Thank you for watching.